I'm in grade 8, so I'm going to do lesson 2, exercise 41, page 94. Hopefully I will be able to send this video today before you write your test tomorrow. Please prepare for your test. Try your best to do it on your own so that I can see where I can help. Alright, I don't want you to rewrite it down from your workbook because that's not going to be of value. It's going to be much value if we can see where you make your mistakes, something that you don't understand. Alright, I'm going to do the CRJ first. So what do you need to know about CRJ? That you've received money. And if you received money, you're going to issue a receipt to the person. Another document that's involved, especially if you, say for instance a hairdresser, they can have a cash register and then they've got a cash register roll. Alright, so that's the two documents that you're going to look for. And we can't start with receipt 43 and then we have a number 89. It's 43, 44, 45. Okay, cash receipt, roll, 1, 2, 3. The sequence very important. Alright, if I read, look at your first transaction, what did I say? Page 94. Sorry, I went out of page 94 now. The very first transaction in your CRJ, the owner deposited 95,000 Rand, no, 25,000 Rand into the bank account to increase her capital contribution. Issued a receipt number 41. So here we're going to write receipt 41 on the very first day of June. We have received money from the owner, and under information they said the owner's name is T. Marston. Now, very important, in this sentence it said the owner deposited the money into the bank account. So then you won't write that amount in your analyst column. So that amount, 25,000, will go directly into your bank account. But if the owner brought the money to the business and he gave it to me and I had to go and bank it, then you would have put that amount into your analyst column. Alright, then that 25,000 Rand is for capital. So that's why in your salary account you'll put the amount 25,000 capital, not the word contribution. A contribution is I gave money. Right, so I gave money, I contributed what? Capital. Right, then your next transaction for your cash register journal, if you go to the 7th, it says they issue a receipt for service rendered, 6540. So that's going to be receipt number 42. Just to help me with time now, I'm not going to write receipt again, I'm just going to write the numbers, alright? So on the 7th, we've received money. Why? Because we've service rendered. Oh, this code is very thick, sorry. And the amount 6540. So if you've got a hairdresser or a any company, you're not going to tell the person, listen, come sit, I'll do your hair, and then when you get home, you do an EFT. You'll only do that to your very, very good clients that you really know. But if I come into your shop for the first time, you're not going to trust me. So what do I have to do? I have to give you the money. That's your analyst column. And then the next day, you'll take the whole amount and you'll go and bank that. Alright, so if that was your only money that you've received for that day, so at the end of the day, you just draw your deposit line to say, tomorrow I'm going to bank that amount. And that was what? Service rendered is a current income. Alright, Then my next transaction will be on the 11th. Receive 13,000 Rand from a client for service rendered. So it will be received 43 on the 11th. You can say again services rendered. Okay, and the amount that you've received was 13,000 Rand. That was the only amount that I've received for that day. So what am I going to do? The next day I'm going to bank that amount, and service rendered is current income. Alright? Then on the 12th, part of the building has been let since the 1st of March. Reddy has paid his rent every month so far. So that means from March, April and May. So he's paid 3 months already. Now if you go to your information, you'll see, okay, rent income that I've already received was 1,200 Rand. If I divide that into March, April, May, 3 months, that gives me 400 Rand per month. So I'm going to issue receipt 44 on the 12th. Who did I receive the money from? You Reddy, my attendant. How much did I receive? They didn't say, but they said it was dues. And the amount we've just calculated was in 400 Rand. Have you received any money further on that day? No. So that 400 Rand is going to be deposited the very next day into the bank account. And then that 400 Rand, if you read the sentence again, part of the building was let, his rent was paid. So here you will have rent income. Okay? Then my next transaction will be on the 20th. Service fees rendered from a client 4,200. So receipt 45 on the 20th. Service fees. Okay? 4,200 Rand. And that 4,200 Rand service fees is current income. Now you have to go and see, did I receive any other money on the 20th? And the answer is no. So what I'm going to do, I'll draw my deposit line, and the very next day I'm going to bank 4,200 Rand. Then my next transaction will be on the 29th. Okay, cash a check for, no, the second one on the 29th. Service fees amount to 15,900. So receipt number 46 on the 29th. Service fees. But what can you also write? Service rendered. Anything. That's right. That's fine. Service rendered is a current income. Service fees is current income. How much did I receive on that day? 15,900 Rand. Okay? Service fees is a current income. Right? And did I receive any other amounts that day? The answer is no. So how much will I go and pay into the bank account the very next day? The 15,900 Rand. Right, and then my last transaction, on the 30th, I've received a bank statement. So now the bank communicated with me through a bank statement. And it was on the 30th, and my bank, they're not going to use, I won't say that, but it's actually not fair. The real business will have ABSA or Nedbank or Standard Bank or FNB. But in our world, in the class, we're going to think, I can use your names and say, Kanya Bank. Alright, so please, this is just a name for the bank. Alright, so from Build Bank, we've earned interest on our current account. Remember, a current account is my check account. So this business needs to open a check account, and he did. That's why he can put money into his bank account every time he receives money. Alright, so he, this master plumbers received interest from the bank, 125,000. So remember, the bank's not going to phone phone us and tell us, come and fetch the 125,000 and then you pay it into the bank account. What are they going to do? They're going to put that 125 directly into my bank account. And I don't have a column for interest on current account, so in my amount, 125, and here it's going to be interest. Oh, sorry, my hands are so cold. On current account. Okay, and then you have to add. Remember, you will never add the analyst column. Never ever. The analyst column, this analysis column, is only there to help you to see how much money do you have to go and bank the very next day. Alright, so if you add your bank account, it's going to be 65, 165, 39, 640, and then 25, 525. Alright, I just want to okay, so there's the cash receipt journal. I'm going to do the cash payment journal in the next minute. Right. Okay, perhaps a little bit skewed, but it's there. The cash payment journal, we're only going to pay by check. And the bank's going to communicate with our business, Marston Plumbers, with a bank statement. Alright, sorry guys, it's very cold in this classroom, so I'm freezing. On the 5th, it says there, issue a check. So you're going to give AA stores a check. Why? Because you want to make a payment. Why? Because maybe you bought something from them. Alright, so let's see. It says issue a check 100 to AA stores. What did you buy? Consumable stores and equipment. Alright, so here you're going to have check number 100 on the 5th. AA stores. Alright, the amount, don't worry about your bank now, 12,000 consumable stores and equipment. I do not have an equipment column, so that's why I'm going to go to my summary and I'm going to put the amount 2,000 and I'm going to write your equipment. Now, what do I do now? I'll add these two amounts. How much did I write? What's the amount that I'm going to pay out of my bank account in, if AA stores go to the bank? Sorry, it's very cold. If if AA store goes to the bank and it cashes the check, what's going to be paid out to you? 14,000. All right. Then my very next transaction is on the 6th. It says they bought stationery per check. So that's going to be check number 101. On the 6th, who did I buy from? KLM Books. And the amount, 800 Rand, and that's stationery. Okay, bought stationery, 800 Rand. Then my next transaction is on the 7th. Issue a receipt, no sorry, the second one, pay WW Motors 1160 per check for repairs. Right, so check number 102 on the 7th, WW Motors, an amount of 1160, and that we do not have a repairs column. 1160 repairs. Okay. Then my next transaction will be on the 9th. Paid Mafaba Brothers 35,000 Rand per check for a storeroom built on. So check 103 on the 9th. Mafaba motors, and the amount, 35,000 Rand, that's going to be taken out of my bank account. What did I do? I have built on a storeroom, so I'm going to write here land and building. Land and building, that's your account number. Alright, then your next transaction will be on the 9th, and then 14th. On the 14th. Yes. Paid wages for the last 2 weeks by cashing a check, 6,500 Rand. So here you have to write cash, because you cashed the check. You got the cash and you came back to the business and you paid your 7 workers or your 20 workers or your 100 workers with that amount that you've cashed in. And the amount here was 6,500 Rand. Now, do we have a wages column? Yes, we do. So you're just going to add the 6,500 into your wages column. Right, your very next transaction will be on the 22nd. Check 015. On the 22nd, you will write out the check to Orcam, whatever. Issue a check of 4630. But now they say this was for stationery. Do we have a stationery column? Yes. And the amount of the stationery that we've purchased from them was 250. And the consumable stores 4,000. Okay, 4,000. Can you see there's a difference there, because they said, and the rest was for the owner's personal use. So if it's personal use, that is drawings. Now what do you have to do? You take your calculator and you say 4630 minus the 4,000 minus the 250, and the amount then in my book I've worked out already is then 380. So if you add that up, can you see it is 4630? Okay. Then my next transaction will be on the 28th. Cash a check. So you went to the bank, you cashed the check. You brought the money back and you made the payments that you wanted to do. Let's see, for the last 2 weeks' wages, there was no change in the number of employees or the rate paid per hour. So can you see it's going to be exactly the same as the previous 2 weeks, the wages. Right, so we do have a wages column, that's why 6,500 in my wage column. And then my next transaction will be on the 29th, cash a check to pay the consumable stores and water and electricity. Can you hear? Cash a check. So you went to the bank again with a check, you cashed it, and you've received that amount. But they said, yeah, cash a check, and 150 was for consumables. Right? You do have a column. And then 2,700 Rand was for water and electricity. But you do not have a column for that. So in your sundry accounts, 2,700 water and electricity. Alright? Then you have to add that, and if you add that amount, it's 2,850. Alright? Then your very last transaction on the 30th, the bank statement from Built Bank. You've received a bank statement from your bank, and it's Built Bank, that shows that the bank charged you with 275 rands of bank charges. he's rendering a service to the business. That's why they ask bank charges. Your parents pay bank charges on all their accounts. All right, so whenever the bank renders a service, there's going to be bank charges. All right, so that was your total transactions in your CPJ, and all you have to do is you add all your columns. And if you add your columns, this one is 71, 71, 5, 16, 150, 13,000, 1050, 41, 515. Okay, so if you want to see if your bank accounts, you're just going to add all your columns, but if you want to check that amount, then you add your consumable stores, your wages, your stationery, and your amount, and that must give you the total amount for your bank of 71715.